Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Representative Kamlager-Dove.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Ranking Member, and thank you, Undersecretary Hooker, for being here today. So, Ms. Hooker, in your nomination hearing, you stated that your priorities as Undersecretary would be to strengthen our diplomatic workforce, reinforce our relationships with partners, and confront our adversaries with strength and resolve. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'd like to focus on how the Trump administration has measured up to those goals in South Asia. So I want to talk about Sri Lanka. Are you familiar with Sri Lanka?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay, great. And so I'm sure then you're aware that Sri Lanka's defaulted on its foreign debt in 2022 and owes significant loans to China, and China's capitalizing on Sri Lanka's inability to pay that debt by taking over control of key infrastructure. Yes, would you agree?
I'm aware of the circumstances.
Okay, great. So for Sri Lanka to repay its debt and avoid having to give up more strategic assets to the PRC, it needs to reform its economy and boost economic growth. So can you explain how the Trump administration's proposed 30% tariffs on Sri Lanka helps improve the country's economic outlook and its ability to repay its debt?
Thank you, Congresswoman, for that question. You know, President Trump's first priority is the American people and ensuring that our economic situation here at home is improving. One tool in his toolbox for doing that, for improving the economy, for ensuring there's balanced trade, are tariffs.
Right. So I understand that. So if the priority is the American voter and the taxpayer, are you saying that President Trump wants the American taxpayer to pay higher prices for goods?
Could you explain further?
Well, are you saying that the president wants us to pay more for the goods that we purchase?
I'm saying that tariffs are a tool in the toolbox when working with our individual
I understand that.
counterparts in other countries.
So yes. So are you committing that there will be a trade agreement reached with Sri Lanka by August 1st?
That, Congresswoman, is up to the government of Sri Lanka and how they negotiate that.
Well, but it's also up to us. And I'm raising this because I don't know what the president thinks, but I know my constituents in my district don't want to have to pay higher prices. And I also know that last I checked, we're not onshoring, or we're not trying to onshore apparel and garment industries. And we know that Sri Lanka is actually, responsible for manufacturing a lot of goods that American businesses sell to American consumers. And so it would make sense that we are able to keep those relationships with Sri Lanka. And in order for that to continue, they need some kind of support as a partner with us, an economic partner with us, so that they can keep those facilities and allow American businesses to continue to produce goods and sell to American consumers at a good price. So, can you commit to anything as it relates to Sri Lanka and this deal?
For the trade deals, I refer you to the Commerce Department and the USTR Ambassador Jameson Greer. But they're conducting those negotiations.
But how do the tariffs improve Sri Lanka's economic outlook with us, for us, in partnership with us?
Congresswoman, thank you for your question. As I mentioned, the tariffs are aimed at balancing trade. That's the president's objective, and that's how he's using them. On trade issues, again, I would like to refer you to my colleagues at the Commerce Department and USTR for the details of the trade
reclaiming
deal.
my time. I'm asking you these questions because according to your bio, you are the Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs. So you have jurisdiction over all of the regional bureaus. You should be able to be talking about this from a policy standpoint to say what are the pros and what are the cons. I mean, I'm actually curious listening to your testimony about what you are actually responsible for.
Oh, I'm happy to talk about that.
I don't need you to answer that question, but I do want you to think about it. We also have challenges with the Maldives. PRC is making incredible inroads into that region with the Indian Ocean. Trump won wanted an embassy. Trump 2 is talking about closing down embassies.
I have to disagree on that point. There's no discussion of closing any embassies or any consulates abroad.
I don't know where you're getting that information. We've had multiple conversations about the administration wanting to close down embassies. I think in strategic regions, there should be some discussion. And I would think that your role is to actually bring up reasons why we would want to continue to have a presence in strategic regions where China is making inroads.
Thank you, Congresswoman. We are paying very close attention to that. I can tell you that there are no closures. I can tell you authoritatively that there are no closures planned at this moment. And it is my job to oversee each of the regional
So you're
bureaus
committing that they're
Gentlelady's
not going to
time
close
has
any.
expired long ago.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. But I'm glad that the Undersecretary committed to us not closing down any embassies.